Well, the Suns did it again. They're up 2-0 in the finals now. Even though Giannis put up 42 points, it still wasn't enough. And Phoenix do take a 2-0 lead in this series. Looking back on the game in the first quarter, the Bucks started off really, really good. I think they had a 5 point lead or something going into it, but yeah, they started off really, really good. They had Phoenix turn over the ball a lot. I think Phoenix had four turnovers in the beginning. And the defense, especially on the inside in the paint, was really good from Milwaukee to start off. They had, I don't think Phoenix had like a point in the paint for like halfway through the entire first quarter, but yeah, so great start for the Bucks. They're up by five, but even though the Bucks were good on the interior defense, on the perimeter they were terrible because the Phoenix Suns had 8 3 pointers in the first quarter, second most all time in the finals, I believe. First being the 2017 Warriors with nine. So yeah, just one shy of that. And yeah, that was kind of the story. The game was raining threes throughout this game, but just for Phoenix really. I think they finished with some like 16 3 point total 3 pointers as a team. I could be wrong, but that was it last time I checked. Um, yeah. Another good thing to notice about the first quarter is the Bucks did not commit a single foul in the first quarter. If you guys think back to game one, where the Phoenix Suns won like 25 for 26 at the free throw line, the Bucks knew that was something they had to improve on, and they did. They did not foul the Suns nearly as much. I don't think the first foul from Milwaukee came until like 4 minutes into the second quarter or something like that. So that was a really good adjustment that they made. And they were playing very physical defense, but they were not fouling, which was key. And that's what helped them get a good start to the game. And yeah, they went into the first quarter up. I can't remember how much they were up by, but they just got destroyed in the second quarter. It was, I think Phoenix outscored them 30-16 in the second quarter. So yeah, Cam Johnson came into the game. He had some back-to-back threes. He had 9 points. There was a play. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but the Suns were on the breakaway. Booker had it. It was just Drew Holiday coming back, and Drew Holiday had a monster block on Devin Booker. But nobody from Phoenix came back with him, so it was in vain because I think after he blocked Cam Johnson's right there, he just handed it off to DeAndre Ayton, who slammed home the dunk. And yeah, so even though Drew Holiday did incredible on the defensive end, it still wasn't enough because nobody was there to help him out. Jay Crowder, even though he had 1 point in the entire game, which was a free throw at the very end of the game in game one, he had three pointers in this game. I forget how much he finished with, but I know he had three pointers in the first half, which was really good, really big from him. Um, and then it was Chris Paul had a baseline jumper. Mikal Bridges got to 10 points really quickly. He had another huge game, Mikal Bridges. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but yeah, another huge game from Mikal Bridges. And yeah, Phoenix went out to had an 8-0 run. They had a 17 point turnaround. They were up by 8 at a point. Then Giannis had to come back. He had a nice fadeaway jumper, very Dirk Nowitzki-esque. Mikal Bridges had another three. Devin Booker had a mid-range in Giannis's face. He had a really good game as well. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. So that was the end of the first half. Really, the Suns were up. I can't remember by how much, but I know the Suns were up at half. This is really interesting. The second and third option for the Milwaukee Bucks, which is Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, they only had 11 points combined, which is terrible for your second and third guys. Because Giannis is giving it his all. Like I said, he had 42 points. He was giving it his all on that hyper extended knee, and that's something I'd even mentioned in the first game recap because I said yeah he had 20 points or something and I was kind of off by him, but I completely forgot he was coming off a hyper extended knee, which looked terrible. If you guys saw the clip, you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's that. Drew Holiday had like 7 points and Chris Middleton had 4 points combined for 11 points for his second and third guy. That's not what you want really. But yeah, coming into the start the third quarter, Mikal Bridges and Booker score. Booker hit a really really long 3 pointer from Steph Curry range, and yeah, and they were up by a lot. But then this is where Giannis came into play. Now going into the third quarter, I was like, okay, this is Drew Holiday's quarter because he's known to be really hot or cold. He had two games against Phoenix and a game against the Nets where he just started off terribly in the first half, but in the third quarter he just activated and he flipped a switch and he just couldn't miss in those games. But I thought that's what was gonna happen in this game, but it wasn't. Drew Holiday, it was actually Giannis. Giannis at a point he had the last 13 points for the Bucks had scored. He had a crazy amount of free throws in the third quarter. I can't remember the exact number, but yeah, they just kept fouling them, and the crowd would trying 1, 2, 3, up to 10, loud, loud, loud. There's something interesting about that because I saw a quote. I don't know if you guys saw it as well. Yeah, somebody asked Giannis if he heard the crowd chanting after when he went to the free throw line, and he was like, "Yeah, of course, there are like 20,000 people." I was like, "What kind of stupid question is that?" Obviously, he hearing the crowd chanting, and they're trying to throw him off. So I don't know what kind of dumb question it was. I don't know who asked that, but yeah, they need to be fired. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, Giannis had insane third quarter. I'll throw up the graphic if I find it, but he had the most points in a quarter in a finals game in the past like 25 years or like 20 years or something. And I think they said in the century, so since the year 2000. The other two being the late great Kobe Bryant, who had 19 points in 2010, I believe, and Miami LeBron in 2014 with 19 as well. So yeah, he breaks that record. He fell too shy of the actual record, which was Michael Jordan actually against the Phoenix Suns, funnily enough, in the finals back in I think 1992. But yeah, that's besides the point. Yeah, so there was a play coming on to the end of the third quarter where the Bucks had it, and Giannis just comes running through like a freak of nature he is. I'll throw the clip in here if I can find it as well. And he just runs straight through Torrey Craig, and Torrey Craig went down holding his right knee, and it looked really, really bad. I hope it's nothing too serious. Prayers up to Torrey Craig. I hope he's okay. I hope he's fine. But yeah, Giannis just went running through him like he was not even there, and yeah, like I said, Giannis finished with 20 points, and he really did drag the Suns back into this game. Like I said last game, it was kind of Chris Middleton who was kind of dragging the Suns back when Chris Paul was going off in the third quarter, but Giannis was really trying to drag these guys back into the game, and it did get close into the game because I believe they cut in the fourth quarter they cut the lead all the way down to 6 points. So yeah, in the fourth quarter, what happened? Devin Booker hit a 3-pointer in Brook Lopez's face in the corner, I believe. So yeah, that's Devin Booker doing his thing, I guess. Yeah, so in the fourth quarter, sorry about the word cut there. Yeah, so in the fourth quarter, the Bucks started to rally and they really got close. They got the lead down to like 7 points, but then they took Giannis out, and then Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton started to go off. I think Devin Booker hit another 3, and the lead was back up to 10 points. And then but then the Bucks reply with their own 7-0 run, and that's the thing about basketball. Basketball really is just a game about runs. So after the Phoenix Suns go on their 8-0 run, I think the lead was back up to 10 or something, I'm not sure. The Bucks go on their own 7-0 run, and then they cut the lead all the way down to I think 6 points, and that's the closest it got. And they gave it to Pat Connaughton. He had a 3-pointer he missed, and that's when the game kind of was really done from there, because the Suns just continued to score. They closed out the game. They did exactly what they needed to do. And yeah, one last thing coming down to the end of the game. Chris Paul had 2 bad back-to-back passes. One of them, Jay Crowder came off his screen. He came behind him, and Chris Paul kind of like hit it behind his back, but Crowder wasn't expecting, and he was nowhere near the ball, so that kind of messed up his things. And yeah, Chris Paul had 16 overs in total. Something very rare. We don't normally see that from Chris Paul, but yeah. And so now just to recap the stats, Giannis, like I said, 42 points, 12 rebounds. He had 18 free throws. You guys remember I said in the third quarter, just kept fouling him. He had 18 free throws in total, and he hit 11 of them. Now, for Giannis, that's 11 free throws scored. You had to look at the positives. 11 free throws from scored. That's pretty good, but still. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday combined for 29 points, I think. Yeah, that's just not gonna cut it. No, sorry, 28 points, yeah. Because Chris Middleton had 11 points and Drew Holiday had 17 points. There's a meme I saw on Twitter. I'll try to throw it up if I could find it. But it was like Drew Holiday on offense is just terrible, and Drew Holiday on defense is incredible. Because that's really how it was. On offense, Drew Holiday just couldn't seem to get going, but he was locking it up on defense, and he was playing so incredible defense. But yeah, 17 points, 7 of 21 from the field. That's just terrible efficiency. And you can't have that as your third guy. Same thing with Chris Middleton, 11 points, 5 of 16 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. As your second and third guys, you can't have that. You can't go into a finals with that being your second and third guy and expect to win the title. But the Bucks have been in this position before, down 2-0 against the Nets. They went down 2-0 and they were able to win the game eventually in 7. So this is nothing new for the Bucks. I do expect them to, have a decent bounce back game 3 or a decent bounce back game 4. I expect them to at least take one of those two games because I still don't see them getting swept in the finals. But who knows? If Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday don't get this stuff together, Giannis can't carry this team that much, especially on his not so good leg. Because there were points in the game where Giannis wasn't looking good. There was a point where Chris Paul tried to draw a charge and Giannis bundled into him and Giannis fell down and he was holding his left leg. I know every time he goes down, everybody kind of is like, and tries to see if he's okay because he is still not at 100%. He's like 80-85%. But yeah, you need your second and third guys to step up if you're the Bucks. But if you're the Suns, just keep doing more of the same, really. Because Chris Paul, again, another great performance, 23 points, 8 assists. Mikal Bridges, like I said earlier, he has had an amazing final series so far. Even though it's only 2 games, he scored like 15 in the first game, and he has 27 points, 7 rebounds, 8 to 8 from the free throw line. You can't ask for anything more from a guy like Mikal Bridges doing that because he really is like the unsung hero. Because you see the top 3 guys in Phoenix is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton this game, he did not have a good game going into the fourth quarter, but then there was if you guys watch it, you would have seen the cut to Monty Williams trying to give him a pep talk and hype him up. And he said, you set high standards for yourself, and that's okay. That's why you're down right now. But he could go out there and he could dominate this game through force. So go out there and dominate the game. And he went out there and he played really good to close the game. And that's exactly what you need. It's not about how much points you have, but it's when the points come. And the points came at the end to close out the game, and that's what's so important. And Monty Williams did a really good job in, really giving him that inspiration that he needed to, go out there and continue and really finish the game. And that's exactly what he did and the Suns did, and they closed out the game. Like I said, take a 2-0 series. Before I even close out there, Devin Booker, 31 points. Insane. Yeah, you guys know the Be Legendary thing. If you don't know, he had a training session with Kobe Bryant before he died a few years ago, I think, when Booker was only a rookie or in his sophomore season. But yeah, he has that tattoo, and Kobe Bryant gave him a shoes and he autographed it and said, "Be legendary." And that's the motto Devin Booker lives by, is be legendary. And that's exactly what he was in game 2. Be legendary. 31 points, 12 or 25 from the field, 7 or 12 from 3. Couldn't ask for much more from Devin Booker. And yeah, the Suns go up 2-0. They're 2 games away from their very first finals. And yeah, I'm hoping for the Suns to win. I like both the Suns and the Bucks, but I'd much rather see the Suns win this. But yeah, I think that's about all. Like I said, the Suns go up 2-0. The next game is on Sunday, but you guys will be seeing from me before that because UFC 264 is Saturday night. Yes, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. I'll be having a recap show when it's done. I'm gonna have my first guest on my channel. So yeah, you guys be on the lookout for that Saturday night UFC 264. Even if you don't like the UFC, swing through. You might like hearing me talk about it. You might even get into it. So yeah, and it's Conor McGregor. Everybody likes Conor McGregor because he's entertaining. But yeah, so like I said, be on the lookout for that Saturday night, the UFC 264 recap. Yep, that's been it for me, guys. Don't forget to follow me on the socials in the description. Subscribe, like, share the video, all that good stuff. Alright guys, later.